want to welcome back to Getting to Know You with I guess, technically speaking, this might be season 3 because we've had some breaks, but I was thinking about stopping these interviews, and then I kept thinking of how many cool people there were still left to get to know in our 2 parishes. So here we're going to keep going. Plus, we still have COVID going on, so we still need opportunities to connect and learn about each other. And today is the guest is Lisa Weger, who I'm excited to have. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, John.
I've been wanting to interview Lisa for a long time because I just see her so integrated in so many different parts of St. Sebastian's Parish, doing so much. Of course, everybody knows her work in the fish fry, but I have seen her in a lot of different capacities, and she's been a part of an Alpha group and now the current John's Bible study. So there's a lot of different ways that she's been involved, and I thought she would be an excellent person to get to know a little better. Lisa, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you.
Good. Thanks for doing this.
Yep. I'm here. No problem.
Everybody always gets a little nervous, like, not me. But these are just so fun just to get to know people more. If people don't know you, if they have not come across you in your many different roles in the parish, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I started out in Catholic education when I was in elementary school at Mother Perpetual Help on the north side of Milwaukee on 54th and Villard.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, my parents moved to Tosa when I was going into middle school. So starting in 6th grade, I started at Tosa Public Schools. But my best friend at that school had her father worked at the St. Seb's fish fry. So he brought us in and we would work together. We would help him with prepping at the fish fry as a youth. And we also attended youth group.
Wait, how old were you then?
Oh, that would have been 6th and 7th grade.
You've been connected to St. Seb's fish fry since you were in 6th grade.
Well, I kind of left for a while, but yeah, yeah. I've known of it, and it's been amazing ever since. And it's been around for quite a long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I kind of lost my way a little when I was a teenager, like high school years, and then my young adult age, and I was even homeless for a little bit. And then I had my first child at 19, and I moved back home with my mom. And then I had my second child at 24. And after that, I did look into baptism a couple of times, and I didn't feel comfortable. I went to my parents' parish, and I just didn't feel like I belonged there. I love the parish, but I just don't feel like me being a single mother with biracial children just didn't fit. And it just wasn't, there was just some stimulus that I just didn't feel right about. So then I walked away from that for a little bit. And then during that time, my daughter had some issues, some mental health issues when she was younger. By like kindergarten, I started looking for a different school. And that's what brought me back to Seb's and reminded me about Seb's, is that I was looking for somewhere that had smaller class sizes and that could really help Noella. She was, I think in 1st grade is when she started Seb's. And it turned out I never received another phone call from the principal. I'm K4 and K5 phone calls from principal every day. She would scream for hours on end until she was hoarse and wouldn't let anybody touch her. By 2nd grade, she was finally diagnosed, and then we were able to move on from there. There was room to finally grow and start therapy it took a long time to get where she is today, but today she's an amazing person and growing into a wonderful human it touches many people. Whoever she comes in contact with, she leaves an impression on, for sure.
Including myself. I mean, she's been the only youth at a lot of adult programs, and she contributes. I mean, everybody would agree when she is there, she contributes so much, so thoughtful and intelligent in her responses. It's awesome to have her.
Yeah, yeah. I love that in her, and I love being able to share that with that she's able to share that with others, and that we're able to, have that in our family.
Not every kid could do that. Not every kid would want to do that.
Right, right. And then my son, he's 20 now, and he graduated at Tosa East 2 years ago in 2020, and now he's a sophomore at MSOE.
Cool.
So both of my kids are amazing and doing great things, and I'm gonna be. I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's amazing to think of where I came from, being homeless, and then having go through so many trials, and then finding myself again, and finding my footing, and where my kids are now. It's just,
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt you're in a good place. Your kids are in a good place. Don't answer how you're comfortable, but you said, you were in high school. Well, first of all, what was I want to kind of go through your transition, but you said you were active in the SEBS youth group and fish fry. What was that like back in the day? What was happening back in the day?
we would meet for youth group after 6 o'clock mass. It was
Okay.
a nighttime youth group. And then fish fry, all I can remember is that the fish fry closet used to be what is now the Boy Scouts closet. So now we've got a big, huge closet, and about 5 times as big. So to imagine what we worked out of before, I don't know how we did it with all the storage.
I don't know how fish fry ever happens. It's like such an operation. It's an incredible thing. We're definitely gonna talk about that more, because it's best fish fry in town. But you said when you were talking, you said you lost your way a little bit. Do you want to say any more about what does that mean? What?
I mean, I was dating some people I shouldn't be at a young age, and my mother ended up kicking me out of the house and telling me she had enough, and so that's when I kind of moved in with a boyfriend, or we lived out of the car for a while. We slept on friends' floors and front porches and all kind,
That had to be scary.
Yeah, it was a different time in my life, and it was definitely rough. And then being in a neighborhood where there's gunshots all the time, and running from the corner store because you're dodging somebody shooting in the neighborhood. That's something that I'll never forget. Living in that area, seeing somebody be shot and killed. That happened while I lived there, and it just that image will never. That stuff just leaves. It makes me who I am today, and it makes me know what I never want to go back to.
Yeah.
So when I left there, and when I was able to move back in with my mother, I just made a promise, that I would never be homeless again. I would never, be in that situation where I don't know where I'm getting dinner from, or lunch or breakfast or any meal.
Yeah. Is that what shifted for you? Was your mom welcoming you back in, or where did your shift happen?
I think when I became pregnant, and then that's when she welcomed me back in, and we had a kind of amends during that period, because she wanted to be there for me and for the baby that I was carrying, and I needed it more than anything at that time.
Yeah. That sounds like an incredible journey, and just to know who you are now, and how successful you are. I mean, that's quite an arc.
Yeah.
How did faith play a role in your journey here?
I always had that base of faith, because I started out in elementary school, learning about the Catholic religion. But I kind of, when I was in middle school, I kind of fell away from it. I went to that youth group for a couple of years, but then maybe more in the beginning of high school, I started going to like other types of churches with my friends from school. We would go to new age churches and like born again Christians, and it was very interesting to see the way different people, pray. When I was growing up, when I lived on the north side, I had only Black neighbors around me, so I would go to church with them when I was a kid. I would go to Baptist churches, so I already knew how that was, and I loved going there and having fun all day, singing. I love to sing, so but the New Age church was just something different to me, seeing people speak in tongues and stuff like that. That was kind of weird to me, it was very foreign. Yeah. But that helped me grow too. And then really it was coming back to Sebs is what brought me back to, okay, now I really need to get my kids baptized. Now I feel comfortable with Sebs. I got my son baptized. He was over 7 years old, so he got baptized and confirmed all together. I think because he was over 7. He was like 10, I think, when he got it done. So you get it all done together, and he was, I don't even know how he understood what he was, actually doing at the time.
It's a challenging part, yes.
Yeah, it was a whole year of education for him and learning what he was doing, but actually knowing it is and then Noella finally got baptized. And then I got confirmed in 2017 to become my little cousin. She had never been baptized. She was like 17 or 18 at the time. And she was living with me, and I was talking to her about God and don't you want to be baptized? And she was like, my mom never, she always said it was my choice. And so then I ended up going through the whole RHI?
It's RCIA.
RCIA. We went through that whole program together, her to be baptized and confirmed, and then me to be confirmed.
Oh, cool.
So that was really cool that I could become her sponsor. And
did you do that at Sebs?
Yes.
With Ed?
Yes, yeah. With Ed. And then she was baptized over at St. Catherine's in their big fountain they got over there. That was a special day. That was great.
Oh yeah, that's great. I recently saw baptism in that pool, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that we kind of hit this point, because you and I have talked about this before, and you mentioned it, but like one of the main reason you came back to Sebs was because Noella needed that extra help, right?
Yeah, because she was going through some things, and we are going through some things, and she was diagnosed with ADHD, not only ADHD, but ODD, is oppositional defiant disorder. So she would just want to do anything opposite of what you told her to do. So it was the most difficult thing in my life.
Yeah.
Some of the hardest, longest days when your kid's screaming and you can't console them. But Sebs really helped and really embraced her. And I never got at that time, it was Mr. Hull was the principal, and never got a phone call from him, never had any interaction with him.
Yeah.
And whereas the other school, she was in the principal's office a couple days a week. And then the school, I had asked for the teacher if they could just write notes when she was good during the day instead of every day when she was bad. And teacher said that she had 20 kindergartners and may or may not have an aide on any given day. And nope, she can't do a daily report. And I'm like, I used to be a preschool teacher. I know that you can figure out how to get a daily report done, Yeah. So she came to Sebs and just flourished, and it really and therapy too. There was some real tough days in therapy where we had to hold hands and look at each other in the eyes, and it killed her, but and it killed me too.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing because you tell I of course I believe you, but you tell the story about like your upbringing. You just tell the story about Noella's challenges, and I look at both of you today and I go, that doesn't match the picture I see today. It's amazing what you've been through, and where you've come. But I also, just want to reiterate, the reason you came to SEBS is because you needed help, and you needed that different kind of support. And I love that story because, who knows what'll bring you back in the door? Who knows what'll attract you? And now look at who you are to the parish, and look at who Noella is to the parish, and it didn't start with, oh, I need to be the best Christian, or I need to learn about. It came because you needed help, and I think that's awesome, because then look at the snowball that occurred because of that.
Yeah, as soon as I got back to the parish, I was looking to sign up for fish fry, because I was so nostalgic to get back, just to get back in the kitchen and see what it was like.
Yeah.
So I started working the windows at Fish Fry for a couple of years. And then in 2017, I became the Fish Fry coordinator. So it's been 5 years now that I've been helping coordinate the Fish Fry. And
if for some reason someone has been stuck in their house and does not know what the SEBS Fish Fry is, and I'm sure there are people that haven't experienced it, describe what it is, when it is.
So pre-COVID is way different than right now. We're doing a carry out fish fries. We still do ask for help from different grade levels, but pre-COVID, we'd turn the school cafeteria into like a full-blown restaurant every, first Friday of every month. And we would have meals being served family style. So you get a big bowl of fish at your table, and a bowl of tartar, and a bowl of ketchup, and the kids would help, and they couldn't wait. It was so fun to see, like when Noella was in 3rd grade and she's like, can I help at Fish Fry? And because I was working it, she was sometimes able to help in 3rd grade. But most of the time we wait for 4th and 5th graders. They would do the busing and table setting. And then 6th through 8th graders would do serving. So you'd have these kids running around, and there's families everywhere, babies. We have high chairs, and it's just a great time, and lots of community like coming together and building. And
it's such a great community builder, and it is fun with the kids too. The Fry Kids, right? That's what they're called.
Yeah.
And I still remember some of my waiters. I'll see them in high school, and I'll be like, oh, that kid gave me fish once.
Yeah. It really breaks them out of their shell. And, I'm always like, well, it'll give you something to put on your resume when you go look for your first job, that, hey, I worked at SEBS Fish Fry, and
I've worked in the restaurant business, right?
Yeah, a lot of places around here know what that is. So
yeah. It's the best fish fry in town. I'm kind of hungry right now as we're talking. What is it that you love about it, though? Like you sought it out and you continue to be dedicated to it. I mean, it's a major commitment. What does it do for you?
I am just an extrovert through and through. So my main position is coordinating volunteers. So just working with people, getting people, and talking and learning and meeting people. My favorite part when I first started back was working the windows, because I got to know all the kids. Because when I worked the fried windows, the kids who were the servers, they'd come up to get their bowls, and they'd say, I have this at this table or this at that table. And I'd have to remind them, bring your ticket, or, don't forget the tartar, or, and I would get to know all the kids on the campus, and that I loved knowing all the kids. And I'd walk and come to pick up Noella on the playground, and they'd be like, oh, that's the fish lady. I was like, yeah, I'm the fish lady.
That's good. What if anyone ever wanted to get involved, just kind of run through some of the jobs? I mean, there's so many jobs to make fish happen.
Right now we're really looking for fish cutters. So we lost one of our fish cutters to the pandemic. We lost a lot of our good regulars that we just haven't seen back since the pandemic started. There's jobs anywhere from doing desserts. We take desserts from families that can't make it and just want to still help. And then also there's prep where we have families, there might be somebody who's off during the day and able to come help, from a 1 o'clock to 4:30 or shift, and able to help with the setup and moving tables and getting things ready to get fish going. We have a lot of regulars who do things like frying fish, but then we have a lot of opportunities for people who aren't familiar with it, like working a window or delivering bags, running a bag orders or filling a bag order, things.
Or even prep work. Like I loaded little tartar sauce cups for several hours once.
Yes, thank you. That's important part of prep work, because if we didn't have that,
Absolutely.
we wouldn't have our
tartar
stuff.
sauce. You need it. So you say fish cutters. I mean, like, this is not like, you're buying a frozen bag of fish. This is like.
Yeah, no, we bring in a full fillet of cod and they cut them into about 3-ounce pieces each. And so the best part about working the window is people would say, I want the fat piece, or I want the tail end, because some people I love the tail piece because I like the little crunchies, but some people like that, thick, juicy fillet. Each his own. But that's the best part about having non-uniform, every piece is unique.
Yes. We're not talking about McDonald's chicken nuggets here.
Yes. By the way, we do have the best chicken nuggets around too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I had a kid who was not about fish fry, but he would show up for the nuggets. Oh, also the soup.
Our clam chowder, yes, is amazing. I don't normally eat clam chowder, and I wouldn't believe.
Wasn't there shrimp chowder?
Oh yeah, shrimp chowder. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, no, so I just needed to correct you because it was delicious. So now during COVID, they're happening once a month takeouts, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we still do hope for every class to be assigned. Every class is assigned a fish fry. So we hope for each class to have parents in that class to come and help out. So if they work the bagging area together, it's a good opportunity to get to know some other fellow parents that might be in your kid's classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I got to know a lot of people, actually, when I first came to the parish. If someone wants to get involved, what should they do?
Send me an email. Give me a call. My number is all over the parish website. If you go on the parish website, there's a how to get involved page, I believe, that when you click on it, you'll see my number, or my helper Liz Martin. She's going to be taking over for me next year. So I'm be hard to let fish fry coordinating go, but I will never leave fish fry. I will work fish fry forever, I'm sure.
When you think about the future, what do you hope for, Lisa?
My hope is that people that hear this, hear my story, know that there's hope. So I hope for hope. I hope for people to know that hope and faith and prayer really works. Deep prayer has gotten me to where I'm at today, and my life really turned around when I came back to the church, and things have been on an upswing ever since. And a lot of it is prayer. A lot of it is when I was told I was taking over the fish fry, I was shocked and I didn't know what to do. And a couple hours of prayer, and after I would sit at mass, I left mass just crying, and then I just felt good. I felt like, okay, God, you got this. And that's how it is every fish fry. I don't know how it works out. We will have so many open positions, but that day or the day before, things happen and things get filled. People call in sick, and then somebody else shows up, and it just works out. So have hope, have faith is what I really, have hope that if you've lost your way, that you can find your way again.
Mm.
I don't know how my mother disowned me for so long, but that must have been hard on her, because knowing her, she don't do that for anybody. It's like she helps anybody. So, but that's probably the best thing she could have done for me at the time. And and also hope for,
and then also letting you back in, inviting you back in, right?
Right. Yeah, that had been tough. Now that I have kids, everything seems a little different.
Yeah, of course.
I also want people to have hope, that when you have a child that might be a little more difficult and not as easy as my first kid, the one that needs a little more TLC, that there is an end, and that they may seem like crazy, terrible days, but they can turn out, with a little bit of work and prayer and hope and faith.
Yeah.
It turns out okay.
Yeah. Yeah, your life's definitely evidence of that, right? We go through our trials and our challenges, and the words that are coming to my mind are steadfastness and perseverance, and then that coupled with hope and faith can move mountains, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Steadfast is one thing. Yeah, that's a great word. That's probably what helped me quit smoking. I quit smoking about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was just like never going back. Just
congratulations.
Always working on it every day and things. And
yes.
And I don't know.
Yeah. Don't smoke, kids.
That's right.
Lisa, thank you so much. I do think people will watch this and be inspired by your story. And I'm sure there are going to be people that are surprised by aspects of your story. And I always that's another reason I like doing these, because let this be a reminder of we don't know everything that people have gone through. We don't know what made up their story up until this moment. And so we cut people a break and give them the benefit of the doubt, because they might need it, and they might need that extra patience to get to where they need to go and run a fish fry or whatever. So thank you so much for sharing your story so generously. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, John. I'll come talk with you again if you like.
And I'll come help. I don't know if I can cut fish, but I'm going to help in some capacity.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
We'll have you.
Thanks. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, John.